going to do with patience. She can't kill the Timbersaw. Bottom lane is too much of a commitment for her. And this is the downside of Complexity's lineup, is that it's not easy for anybody to really move around gang. Like, their cores are going to be very stable in that sense. Like, they're just going to sit in the lanes and try to recover whatever they can. They don't have the options like Mineski does. Because Mineski has two very, very active heroes, the Puck and the Bounty Hunter. Even Ice has the option to rotate in, and that's why we see in this mid lane, it's going to be Moo that makes the first rotation.
They're coming down for jabs right now. Paralyzing Cast going to isolate Kyle, but no, bounced up to the Ancients, so he'll just snowball himself forward. Doesn't really find the target. It's already
getting
dead,
low though.
but his TA so low on life. The Maldic Pop still got one more hit. Will it be enough on it? And it will be. Jabs will find the tick out as Ice now chasing down Moo. Wherever you go, he'll go too. No, unfortunately, can't go there. TP back out to the shrine inside the jungle to safety. The TA for a Witch Doctor, not the fight they were looking for.
Did you see the timing, by the way? He was half a second away from getting Refraction, and he would have lived right there. But very nice counter rotation from Mineski. And this is the benefit of their lineup, is that they can just chill, allow Complexity to make these moves, and they just passive-aggressive react. Because you have all these heroes that can come in after.
This should be a solo kill right now. Ice is being initiated on. They've got no Timber Chain points. So he's staying inside the shards, but it's Z-Freak moving underneath the invisible moon. Who still armor. Decided not to attack.
Zero chance they kill him.
I thought for a moment winning both Dreamclaw, level 4 Orb, and the 1 point up in Rift may have been enough to get Rubik. He decided not to. He held it. Complexity have already backed off now the bot lane. Chasey's gone jungle. Kyle as well as Limp. This is when supports get your money. I'm not exactly certain who, where's those icons over the top of the creeps? To let us know who gets the extra gold. I'm seeing Kyle getting some extra points, so I'm assuming he did the ancient stack.
I am 99% certain that place the sentry in anticipation for the bounty hunter. But Ninja Boogie then just switches to the other angle.
There's still another sentry there so they can see him.
Yeah, but without a dust, this is a very hard kill. Both the supports are so slowed down right now.
As Ice having more fun with Moo on the top. 2 points now up in Timber Chain as Moo just Dragon Tail stuns him to just keep him at bay. Whoa,
that close.
Damage can be fast. Without that extra Dragon Tail stun time, he may have been in trouble. But he rotates bottom, so Complexity, what now? Turn this into a T1 tower push?
They want to, and this is the downside of Complexity as a group, is that they feel so forced. All these movements, when they feel forced, that's when Complexity feels the worst to me. And they make this rotation bottom because it's the only play that they realistically have. It's too hard for them to take mid because Puck can just keep spamming out the wave. But nobody's really leveled. Everybody on the side of Mineski is not being hampered by this rotation whatsoever, as in mid lane, this is the play.
Oh, the TP! No, doesn't make it out in time, went for the phase shift, just tried to dodge the stun. But Moon can't get out from underneath that tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, on the bottom, paralyzing cast, Chessie has triggered off dog form, but Ninja Boogie's arriving, so is Ice. They want their target, it's going to be the Dragon Knight. Swap back into the fight, and Moo will go down. So Puck for the DK. Chessie's ultimate also being burned. And the tier 1 tower remains alive.
Did you say dog form?
Yeah, dog form.
Why wouldn't you say wolf form? It's the same amount of syllables.
Don't waste your time.
There's no difference. You didn't even save any time.
There's no logic in what I say. I just prefer a doggy. And you can blame a Tubberman for that one because he always called it the dog strat.
Yeah.
So that's where my brain goes with it.
Yeah, but he's got dogs. But he himself, Toby, he's a wolf.
He's the alpha dog.
Yes. No, he's a wolf.
Alpha wolf. Is Lycan technically a wolf? Or is he
he's
just...
He's like a hybrid thing, you know? Why are we having this discussion?
Hey,
like...
well, would you prefer to actually ask the question, is Tuskar a walrus? But, that one either. Moving on. Ice, no pressure on bottom lane. Z-Freak's attempting the defense. And we're only 12 minutes into a cast with Blitz, and after my time off, and already he's in trouble. Timber Chain stolen by Z-Freak. Moo can't go anywhere. Again, this Dream Call will just hold him in position. No way for this DK to survive as Mineski, as 5 dive underneath the tier 2 tower. Moon wants to come back to defend the mid.
Look at that. That's so good by Moon. He instantly TPs the mid because he understands that they have to make this play, but Where's the backup?
It's coming. It's coming a little bit late. Ice is coming over. Kyle, he's buffed up or debuffed with the Veil. He'll run away to safety out to the east.
I really like that move by Moon. Like, it's risky, but he takes aggro off the tower because they understand they have to keep this tower alive. It's how Lycan thrives. Like, if you take this tier 1 bottom and you take this tier 1 mid, then Lycan gets a free game into the jungle, and it allows the supports on complexity to catch up. But by denying that, it makes it so the Lycan has to continue to participate in these awkward-ass engagements. Like, Chessie doesn't want to play like this.
He wants to relax. He wants to finish up that Necro book.
Yeah. He's level 7 at 13 minutes. This is not the type of game that you envision as a Lycan. And it's because they haven't been able to take these tier 1 towers that are so crucial.
Well, they've always been holding hands on the bottom lane. Ice with his level 11 is very happy to jump down to Chessie. If only he can get past the shield of complexity players. And he cannot do it, so Chessie will finally claim that tier 1 tower. It's the first tier 1 tower. Took 13 minutes for complexity to grab it.
You notice, by the way, what Ice does is that even though he is very tanky, he doesn't risk that. Because a lot of people get this thing where Kuro used to call it like strongman syndrome, where you're playing a Timbersaw or a hero like him, and you think like, I'm unkillable, because you've survived 1 or 2 instances.
Yep.
But in Dota, Toby, you can get 1 on 5 and go down, and you're going to throw away that large-ass net worth that you built up. He has the highest net worth in the game. If he risks going in 1v5 and dying, it is worth it for complexity to commit that many heroes.
Bushi out of the we want to start the ancient stack farm now. Bounty Hunter in trouble. It's a full smoke wrap around by complexity, but the paralyzing card making life difficult to move in, and here comes Ice, but it's already too late. 3 heroes down for Mineski and complexity. Maybe now they can take this tower, but they have to push through both Mushi and Ice.
This is a very nice TP. He didn't go back to base, he immediately TP'd mid instead. But sloppy engagement from Mineski. Like, complexity, that's what I mean. You have strength in numbers, you can win those engagements. And they were also very surprised by this TA Blink. Limp has had a lot of stacks to work with. He is not underfarmed. You have to respect this hero right now.
You also just expect that Blink to come out first as opposed to just rushing up like higher damage dealing items.
Like the Deso?
Yeah, something like a Deso before. Like, what's more common at the moment?
So I asked a lot of TA players, and one of the better ones that I know is CCNC, and I said, like, when do you go the Deso versus Blink? And he says, I almost always go the Blink. When you get the Blink on TA, it feels as though you're invincible. It's very hard to die on this hero. Question though, because I literally had the same thought. I was like, because sometimes I see players get the Deso, and I was like,
Actually, I think it was CCNC in the game early today. He went for the Deso early, but they were looking for Roshan.
Yeah, if you go for the early Rosh, I think it is impactful. Like, if you can get a 12-minute Deso and you just walk in a Roshan. But it was he himself that told me that Blink just feels a whole lot better. You can get away with it.
As long as you don't fall to the strongman syndrome. Ice is adding a lot of pressure on the bottom lane against Chessie. Kyle's looking at this, understanding he can do nothing.
And look at this, like, he doesn't force anything. Like, he immediately TP's back. A lot of players.
Trees, Green Piece has just issues.
The rain for it.
Actually, he's cutting almost perfectly through, so he's still okay, no, never mind. Like, large amount of trees dead.
He hurt the environment too.
You need to have that, what was that quest we had back in the Battle Pass? How many trees were killed today?
Oh, the worst.
With the Timbersaws who would just TP back to base and take it all. Z-Freak, he is tracked up, but thanks to the track marker, he's already retreating back to the tier 3 tower away from Mineski, while complexity add their pressure in towards mid. There's Dream Call over on 2, quick phase shift, and here comes a jump forward. Ice. He wants the Dream Call to snap, hasn't happened yet. That VS combination just not dead yet. Said Jab's actually having trouble with Limp. Doesn't get that last attack off with the Maledict. He's a little bit concerned with the refraction charges going down. Ice. Chains in deeper, looking for Z-Freak. A pick up and throw away. Z-Freak feels safe. Complexity once again being denied that mid-tier 1 tower.
That's what I said, right? They're going to go for this mid tower right after they take the bottom one. This is how they're going to create space for the Lycan. But this has long been the knock, Toby, on Complexity, is that they become a little bit predictable against. If you've seen one Complexity game, it feels like you've seen a lot of Complexity game.
Isn't it that weird thing, like, if you look back at the days with the original Epicenter, like, Complexity were all about draft something crazy, unusual, that's just going to give us this buff up and we can win that way. But when we saw this draft today, I was almost just like, you know, this is just really consistent, solid play, confidence in themselves to execute the draft.
Yeah.
But, yeah, counter, predictable.
But at the same time, like Mineski,
Oh boy,
how do you win a fight?
That's a lot of damage on Z-Freak.
Oh, Bushi bodied him.
Yeah. 4 hits on the Magic Missile stun as well, and he came out with Mask of Madness and out of the Shadow Blade too.
He deals a lot of damage to hit. You are not surviving that. Downside of playing Rubik as a 4 position. A lot of these 4s have these natural escapes. But the burst damage is there.
Moo's revealing himself so much. They're going to come underneath the TA traps, but thanks to this smoke, Mineski actually hunting the Templar Assassin.
Yeah,
the DK is obviously a harder one to get, so go for Limp instead. Is there a swap timing? Limp already used his blink, so here comes the Magic Missile. Meld is available, but then again, tracked up, nowhere to really hide. Paralyzing Cask and the Maledict and the Death Ward. They don't want to take any risk of getting close to these tier 3 towers. But with the TA trap, still not enough time for Moo to get there. He would have come underneath the Radiant Observer Ward. So TA down, no buyback for 40 seconds.
He's not going to need it though. It's such an early point in the game. The downside though, or the upside I guess, of playing with the Timbersaw versus playing against the Timbersaw is that normally when that move gets made onto the TA at top, you have some kind of rebuttal. You would go kill whoever's doing this to you at bottom.
You're going to kill Ice.
Yeah, it's like, as long as he's somewhat careful at this point, he's golden. And now Complexity have to ride this out, because there's no way that I think they can take a straight up fight. They've got to jump somebody and take a 4-on-5. It's way too hard right now.
You unpredictable. Ice is predictable doing this type of stuff. He'd always do it with his Broodmothers and his Timbersaws. Add the pressure on the lane where the other 4 are not fighting.
Soak up a lot of this attention. That's how they were able to take the mid tower originally. It's just a nice play from Mineski.
He always gets so much experience and gold from it too. Like he's walking around with BTs and a Bloodstone, so Ice understands the pressure he wants to apply across the map. And then going to go into a Shiva's Guard. Be even more unkillable, because it's not like 30, like, he's walking around with 36 armor currently. With the 20 reactive armor charges buffed up. There's your Dream Call, catch on the Templar Assassin. Do they have enough? Into the backlines, the DK. Good damage onto the Jazz, the Paralyzing Cast. It comes out. It's 2 down right now for Mineski as Moo looks for more, but Ice looks for him. The Chakrams slowing him down. The Maledict pops just too much damage, but the damage is also nice and high out from Chelsea using these Necro books to work as Ice plays the Cliff game. They actually steal the Timber Chain. You've lost your shard, and Ice still wants more. But he won't find it. 3 heroes lost from Mineski, but 2 big cores down for Complexity.
Nice moves by Ice. Sometimes though, this is the downside of Timbersaw, is that you're the last one alive. You don't have this lockdown and everyone just runs circles around you and pokes you. But very nice plays overall by Complexity to make that sort of even. Took that fight very nicely. They isolated the supports first. And the Necro 3, like, this is a very reasonable timing from Jesse. He's done a very good job of recovering in this game.
Ice has tried to pressure him to stop it, but you said, like, this is what they were doing before. This is Complexity sacrifice. They needed to get that grab. Now they might get a grab onto Ice. Z-Freak holds him in position. You can probably Timber Chain for the kill secure. Ooh. No, Limp will claim it.
That is what I mean about this Timbersaw. You think you're invincible.
Yep.
Buddy.
But this is the trade-off.
Yeah.
So you've managed to drag almost every single player from Complexity down to bottom lane.
They don't have a trap in Roche?
And no, they do not. Mineski are now going to get all the scans coming out from Radiant. Ice is even going to arrive for this. Okay, yeah, Mushi's moving the one down.
Way too late.
They're giving it to him. Yeah, they can't reach it in time. So there is still a decent trade-off. The downside is the fact that Timbersaw lost Bloodstone charges, having that before the gank.
He respawns so fast, I think. But it does give up a lot of XP more than anything. This is a level 18 Timber that you like team took down. It wasn't easy, but they did it. Like, look at the dive XP, even with the Roshan.
Money in for everyone. Limp. Now he can work towards that BKB of his. Where it's going to be a little bit more difficult to dish out that damage to TA. Not like they have an Omni Knight to give them the repel, like the panel was talking about, maybe fit there.
You got to be more careful though, this Ice.
Boogie, he's underneath the sentry ward. Kyle saw him, starts his back up. And sentry for sentry.
This verifies. If you're Complexity though, you shouldn't win this fight. Not with the Roshana. Or the Aegis, actually.
just left the sentry ward sitting there. Maybe they didn't see it in the nighttime vision. But Mushi starting his attack into the tier 2 tower. Ice is on the bottom while you've got Mu up on top, so we've still got that floating 1 from both sides. Trying to add pressure to the side lanes. There's a quick blink out. Limp having to take the stun before it gets swapped in by Mushi, as Kyle able to dodge out the attack. The Centaur Stomp is perfect. Mushi will go down. Aegis Immortal is triggering as Ice puts himself in harm's way. Mushi can't get out. The charge from Kyle are perfect, and Mushi will fall 2 times. With no real answer to the complexity lineup, Chessie moves forward. He's chasing down Ninja Boogie, keeping him out of the play. But now they can turn around. The paralyzing cask with the malediction, working with Ice. Kyle can't run out of this one. He has to stick around. Sharkham's on cooldown right now. And Ice is focusing on Limp, allowing the Puck to wrap up the Tuskar. But does he have much more? Ice wants to keep fighting. You got the small army from Lycan here behind Chessie to help him out. There's no more stuns available. A quick phase shift. Z-Freak's jumping up, looking for the real Puck. Silence battling underneath the shrine, needs more mana, needs more life, has none of it. 4 heroes down for complexity. Chessie able to TP away to safety. But the sustain, we thought it was going to come from the complexity lineup, but instead it's Mineski. It's Ice.
And that was a fight that I think they should have been happy with just getting the veg. Like, Mineski very much overextended there, but with complexity, without the Dragon Knight, like, the lockdown simply isn't there. Once the DK and the Tusk went down, there wasn't going to be any more stuns. You have to disengage at that point. It's not easy to kill this Puck or this Timbersaw when you can't lock them down. It works both ways, Toby. And at the end of that night, they were just able to mop up as much as they wanted. Even though it looks like Moon is in a killable position, he's a Puck. You have 0 stuns against him. He has a very free game. And now he's almost got the Aghanim Scepter as a result of this fight.
Then that BKB is not really going to help you. You're still going to get swapped into stunned.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for, so that Limp, the next time he makes that kind of play, he's stunned forever. As we're going to see right here again.
It's the cast control. Limp and Moo just can't go anywhere.
Yeah. And you see Limp, like, he's at half HP, but he feels as though he has to continue to take that fight. Like, maybe somebody on his team was saying, like, we can still win this fight.
Maybe.
It's like, well, you killed the Venge and you took her Aegis. Be happy with that.
Yep.
It's the little things.
Well, they're coming in for another engagement, so a 4-man smoke up by Complexity. Warding mission as well. These are not real Pucks. No smoke break. Another observe wall being planted down, so at least they establish vision over the Radiant jungle if they get nothing more from this. But Complexity, they have to want this tier 1 tower. But at the same time, surprise items coming in. The TPing in Puck has the Aghanim Scepter fully completed. I've actually got multiple ways to trigger on the Dream Core too, because you've got a 4-staff in the hands of the Witch Doctor.
We've got a Shivas too on this Timbersaw, which makes him even tankier. That item is really annoying against the physical damage dealers on the side of Complexity. They almost all have physical damage.
Like Meld and Deso do nothing. Move. Well, he got left behind. The rest of his team is coming over now. The Shard's holding him in, but the Malediction is on him. And here comes Ice with the Sharkrams. Tuskar caught in the middle of it, so say goodbye to your DK and probably your Tuskar as well. The Timber Chain doesn't connect, but it won't matter when Mushi is just throwing out the right clicks. They're trying to get rid of the Necro Books, protecting jabs as much as possible, and they're able to do so. 2 heroes lost for Complexity, and they all didn't really seem to be on the same page.
No, not at all. That's a fight it's getting increasingly hard to take these fights when all these items are flying in. The Shivas, the Aghanim Scepter, these are items that you have to respect, Toby. These are not minor pickups.
Yep.
These are significant ones, and for Complexity, it feels like they're just not content. That's the best way to put it from my perspective, because if you're content as a team, you take 1 or 2 of these engagements that are positive, but it always feels as though Cole, they pressure themselves into taking the extra step that they don't necessarily have to take. Like,
so you take 1 fight, then you're instantly looking for the second one.
Yeah, you get this Vengeful Spirit kill and her Aegis, and you think like, we can't just be happy with that. We need more. Yep. And that's always been the story of Complexities. Like, they need more, whereas Mineski, like, they're my dark horse team in this tournament. They were very, very close to beating Liquid in that series at, was it Star Ladder? Like, those are both very winnable games.
I always just look at Mineski and like even when the panel is sitting there and they're all just saying, you know, Complexity lineup is good, Complexity lineup is good. It's just something about the Mineski aggression which just unsettles a lot of teams. And just for that pure reason alone, you don't want to count him out, but then you're buffing him up with the Bounty Hunter. Here we go again. Tuskar snowball up. He'll take the stun. Can't know where to really dodge this one. So Track Gold starts to free flow the way of Mineski. And Complexity, they have to kind of shore this ship somehow, but Ice, well, right now he's boarding the Complexity boat. Sits underneath the tower, he does not care. Even gets the fortification out without a real creep wave.
Mineski, they're daring them right now. They're saying, we're gonna hit your high ground.
Yep, here comes Olymp, he goes for Moon, but it's the target. It's the reason why you always say like the matchup is a little bit more fun, but that jump in, Chessie, fresh BKB going to work. He's trying to run to the back lines, but they need to get Ice. The Timber Chain will pull him away to safety. Jabs, Ghost Scepter protecting him with the swap out. That will do exactly that. So the BKB is burnt, the Dragon Form is burnt. Mineski can just reset because they've lost practically nothing. Dream calls off cooldown in 3 seconds time, so they're ready for the control factor to arrive. And they go again, the shards forward. Ice, the front line hitter. Gets all the reactive armor charges up from just the creep wave, so Complexity no, like even if Olymp hits him with meld, it does absolutely nothing. You drop him down to...
bit low.
Okay, he's still at 50 armor.
Yeah, he's just fine. I do like that though. You notice what Mineski's doing? They protect their supports. I hate when teams just abandon their supports. It's just like, well, what can we do for you? Your supports are your stuns. They're your back line as well. They're the ones that are meant to extend the fight for you oftentimes.
Yep.
And you notice that Mineski, they place this premium. Mushi puts himself in harm's way. He has no BKB if he swaps jabs to get him into a better position. Like that a lot.
Because if that orb did connect, then it would have been very, very problematic.
And when you're ahead like this, Toby, the easiest, if you think about it like this, like the easiest way for a team to come back into games where they're like 10, 15k behind is to kill the supports, because it's easy to do, it's cheap gold. Because of the net worth differential, you'll get a lot of gold for doing so. And so for Mineski to protect their supports at all times, it's just a good sign of a good team.
We're all on the same page.
Yes.
Now Complexity, like, how do you steady the ship? Like, there's bigger items on the way. The Aghanim Scepter is flying out right now to Ice, so we're going to have double the Chakram fun. You've still got Solar Crest, high levels on the Bounty Hunter. You have a Blink Dagger on Z-Freak. I know he's normally the guy I turn to for Complexity, just to make the plays, to change the fights around. But, like, who is the critical thing? Like, what does Complexity focus on when Mineski practically is 5 all time now?
I think you just have to avoid the fights and be comfortable with...
Can you do that with Roshan now, being on the platter? They have a TA trap in this time.
Yes. They really needed that the first time around. The fact that Mineski were able to just sneak that.
Complexity smoke's already broken. Moon jumps in. He's looking for the target over on Chessie. Ice is there. The isolation onto Mushi. He gets the BKB off and into the invis. And away. No, he won't. The Necro units have to stay in close. Mushi has to die to Chessie. No, he doesn't see him. The Necro books it and keep up. So Mushi will be able to escape. And Ice is in there to try and capitalize. If he can find the moment. Jabs and stuns. They did most of the work. Snowball protection is there from Carl, but in they come. Mushi keeps the battle going, bringing down the shards, bringing down the heroes. Complexity in way too deep. Liv wants to run away. The blink will allow that to happen, but the rest of Complexity fully tracked up. All 3 players are. So Mineski have the choice. Do they push? They hunt the kills? They go for more? They're hunting one of the kills down. Liv will die up on the top lane. It's a little bit early for that. Well played, Moon, but still, Chessie on the run from Ice. He knows he just has to TP out this one. So do you go high ground now with a very long death timer on the TA, or is it Roshan?
I think you go for the high ground and then you rush. If they go for the buyback, then you just go for the rush.
We're doing tacos. Why not both?
If they have buybacks, like if you're, because obviously on Mineski, you're not entirely sure. If you're one of those teams that are crazy and you constantly ping out the Bounty Hunter track gold, but
you may not care considering DK's Dragon Form's on cooldown. You know the Lycan Form's on cooldown too.
Oh,
and
Chessie.
Now they get a Dream Coil out.
Nice combo.
And the snap. Goodbye, Chessie. Lycan's dead for 70 seconds with no buyback.
Oh boy, that could have been their fight. If they killed Mushi, do we have a replay of that? Like, Mushi was so close to dying there. Then he goes back, he TPs, I think, to the shrine, heals up, then they all in commit for him again, but the heal from the shrine is a little bit too much. That's like a brutal way to lose that one.
He was the critical one they committed for too, but the Necro units just couldn't keep up with them. Complexity can only see Roshan happening, so they have eyes on this, but Mineski have an observe ward up on the hill right in front of the Ancient, so they understand the position of the Tusker. They'll see the rest of them coming in. This Observer Ward's about to pay dividends. They're going to look for the kill. Tracks are up. Sentry's down from Z-Freak, but the Observer Ward's too far. A little bit more of an obstinance place just by the Dream Call. They're pulling him down. Limp battling against Moody. Needs more, but the refraction charges. They all get taken out by the Chakram. Complexity, they're losing way too many heroes. The second lane of Rax is totally gone. And the buyback from Limp, all it may do is just slow down Mineski as they'll back out before they push again for the bottom lane.
Took like 7 heroes from Complexity. They finally get the 2 supports from Mineski. But at that point, Mineski are like, no, now we will let them die. It's okay. None of the cores on the side of Mineski are dying.
Oh, it's going to get worse too. That's an Octarine core coming the way of Ice. He's got 26 Bloodstone charges and would still have money for buyback after buying the Octarine.
Is so obscenely farmed.
They're coming for what? Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's just watch this top push again. This is that combination the panel was talking about. This is the reason why VS as well as Puck are the combination heroes for Mineski. Coil, swap, straight up. No way to protect yourself with the Ags upgrade.
Really not certain what you're supposed to do here as Complexity anymore.
Pray.
Is that... Did my eyes deceive me, or is that 31,000?
That's his 31,000. No deceiving. Experience as well is it's a little bit shy of that. It's about 27,000. The 3-man Dream Call into a straight up swap. Jesse evaporated. The only thing you see left of him is the fluff from his back. Here comes the paralyzing cask a little bit further forward, and Z-Freak move. They can't go anywhere. Lips protected by his BKB, but no level of protection will protect Complexity from this. This is GG. Mineski will take the game with, oh boy, Complexity all day.
We were debating if it was a wolf or a dog, but it's a ghost. I appreciate the light chuckle.
I like it. I like it. It's the one scepter they didn't have.